are going to spend a little time this evening talking about using the head as weaponry for us. Let's talk a couple little biological facts. One is the head, let's just say the average male human head is about 11 pounds. So bowling balls are from 8 to 16 pounds, so somewhere in the middle. And he's got about 20 muscles controlling his neck, and he's got 7 vertebrae suspending his head up there. So quite a bit of weight cantilevered up there. I call it the fifth extremity, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one. So people bring their heads with them to confrontations. Of course, we know the old saying, where the head goes, the body follows. So we understand that. So we're going to go from some basic ideas to maybe a little bit more subtle, Ike, we call Ike type of stuff. And then you can kind of work away to different levels. So one of the things we had talked about before was the idea of triangulation, and that is where he needs to put his foot. Okay, triangulation is just do it naturally, don't overdo it, just boom, that's fine. That's important for us to understand. If I can get the weight of his head over his heels faster than he can step, his head will drag him to the ground. So that's important. What happens, though, is we turn this into almost a needless struggle, most of the time a needless struggle. And what I like to initially work with people on is the idea of rotating the head first, rotating it so it's out of alignment, neck doesn't like it. So I rotate it, I'm going to do two-handed. So just rotate the head, and then I'm going to shift my hips, which gets his body, and then I'm going to pour his head over like a pitcher of water, or water coming over a rock or a waterfall. You notice I'm not pushing at his head, or I'm over twisting his head, or I'm pushing his head like this in his chin. I'm just putting two hands on him, just from this angle. I'm putting two hands on him, and I'm just rotating his head, and I'm using my own body weight, my own stepping to do that. Most people don't like their heads rotated, I get it. And then I rotate it, and I shift my hips a little bit, and then I pour his head over his hips. And that makes it nice for him. So this idea of rotating and pouring at the same time makes it multi-directional for you. If I just try to move your head backwards and over, resist this. And I just try to turn you and twist you, difficult. If I relax and suddenly turn and pour, I can unlock the tension in his vertebrae and his muscles. In fact, you want to do it because you realize, that's building up too much. You have a natural defense system in there. So that's important to understand. So when I do handle your head, I don't brace it too much. And I want you to do the same thing for you. Normally I'm doing all the techniques, but I want you to sort of try to just turn with a lot of tension. Okay, it's a lot, you're strong. That doesn't work. And now I want you to just sort of relax and turn me. Okay, that's not good. Again, relax, turn, and pour. And I'm now dependent on you right away. So that's a basic idea. Relax, turn, and pour. And if you just imagine don't really look at it as a mean face or a head or anything. It's just this mass on a pedestal. And the pedestal is not even solid. It's linked by the vertebrae and it's controlled by a bunch of muscles. So when I relax and turn and pour, it happens so quickly that he can't integrate those things. In fact, you want to get away from it. Yeah. I've had so many people over the years tell me, well, if I resisted that, I said, if you resisted that, you're going to get your neck broken. That's the reality. The best thing you can do is escape from it and to fight another day. So that's important when you're training with somebody's neck, that you don't initially start with a lot of tension and a lot of speed. Obviously a very dangerous area, but we're talking about sort of ultimate combat, not sport. So once I get comfortable with moving with two hands, it makes sense for me to go, maybe I can do that with one hand. Let's talk about how not to do it one-handed. I'm going to hold you here, and I don't want you to let me move your chin. To face the camera just a little bit, and if you can get in on this, do not let me move you, okay? So, okay, that's a lot of juice I'm putting on your neck. But because I'm pulling and I'm incrementally adding pressure on a push-pull, he can tighten himself up and resist that pressure. However, if I approach it differently and I suddenly reach, he can't integrate fast enough. Right? I'm not going to tell you which one I'm going to do. So I just want you to try to defend yourself, okay? Okay? So he doesn't know. One was tension, one was relaxation. But I'm relaxing, it's not new arm, contemplate my navel relaxing. It's a reach past him and sort of ignoring his chin. I don't really see you too much. Another analogy I use is I look at him and I just see smoke and I go, okay, that's it. I'm sorry, keep on doing this. It sucks. It sucks to be you in this drill, okay? So reaching. It turns out if I grab with two hands, sometimes I get a little greedy and I start using my arms like this. But initially go slow, turn, rotate, and pour. Then work with maybe picking up an arm, or maybe he's grabbing me, pulling me tight. And I just reach and I get to that point where I have him bowed. Let's do it from this angle. Okay? Where I just have him, he's dependent on me. Right now I have him between the floor and my arm. I'm actually holding you up. I'm not letting you fall.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's how you initially work one-handed. So, as you get into grappling situations or whatever, I just realized that is everywhere. He can dig in on headlock. I can rotate and pull that head from almost any location in here as long as I do it relaxed. See? There it is. You're dependent on me. I'm just holding you up. It's sort of, I'm about slamming you to the ground.
Yeah.
Right? So you're strong. Now I'm going to fight you with tension just for a second. I'm just showing you the difference. You're winning that. See? You just take that off. Okay? So now I go relax with you and I turn that head so quickly, he becomes dependent on me for his well-being.
Yeah.
Right? So when I attack the neck, I don't treat it as a solid structure. I treat it as something I can reach through, relax through, and realize it's not as strong as it even may look. It certainly becomes stronger when I let it integrate against it. So first level, two-handed, and then one-handed. Now, I've been talking about my hands and where to place them. I'm going to show you another concept. Oh yeah, he wants to get closer to the mic. We're trying to get better audio this time. That's okay. So, this is a drill and a drill only. What? And don't let me take you down, but don't, necessarily, this is just a drill. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to slew my hips past him and put an obstacle up, and watch what it does to his body. Watch what it does. Here we go. And if you can get my feet, it would be great. Okay? I'm just moving my feet across the floor. And notice it's starting to tip him. I haven't done anything with my hands yet. Now I'm just going to go step, step. Oh, I can drag it. I still haven't done anything with my hands. This time I'm going to do a step and a reach. Step and a reach. Ooh, that's having some good results. This time I'm going to do a step, reach, pour. Most of the power is coming from the floor. Very little power is coming from my hand. In fact, there's almost nothing there. You feel this, but you don't understand this. So I'm going to step, reach and pour, and put him down. I displaced him with my hips. You saw my hand, but my hand was not doing the work. This time I'm going to try to just use my hand. Don't let me take you down, okay? Hips. We've talked about this in a couple other videos. My hand has made contact with it. But it is moving in a particular way. It's reaching around, and it's pouring. My lat is heavy. All the muscle groups back here is heavy, and I shift my hips, and I put him down. I'm throwing him to a particular spot called the rear triangulation point. This is very helpful from many, many positions. He gets me in a headlock, and it's tight, okay? Look. I can unlock him almost immediately. Let's look from the back side of what's happening here. He's got me under tension, okay? Powerful, crack it. But I'm going to still do the reach for and the hip movement. And get him right off of me. I'm going to do it with tension. Do not let me work. Go ahead, quick. I want to relax, move my hips, pour them off of me. That idea can work in any of these. I can work with it from here, 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 the front. So I'm just working against 7 vertebrae. I don't care how strong you are. All I got is 7 vertebrae in there. I can work against that if I learn how to reach and pour and suddenly work. So this is really useful from grappling, from many, many, many different positions. That would be helpful. Now, as we're sort of sparring and working, and that's how I can enter with this stuff. I don't have to wait for him to attack. I can boom, 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 get him. He's sort of responding to my tensions, but I'm looking for, easy, boom. I'm looking for that head, to get a hold of that head. I got the back of his here, and I'm still reaching and throwing like, literally like a severed head with hair on it, just slapping it to the ground. You don't see me pull straight down. You see me sort of whip that heavy bowling ball off your neck. Mm-hmm. Pretty effective, agreed?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's many things that we do to make this happen. There's many drills that we use to get this. But this is just sort of an insight into one way we sort of look at that heavy thing. Dean, you got any comments on what you've experienced with this stuff sometimes, or even now?
Yeah, when you see it working, it's effective. It's very weird from this side because he's not pushing. It's just odd smoothness that I have to go with, or face a broken neck. It's the times where it works on my side, it's just very, very smooth and soft. It's not from the hands, like he said. It's from the hips.
Okay, good. So yes, you'll see handles here. Reiterate that. But I'm doing actually hip work even from inside close. Okay, like he's got to look up. I'm not so much in my neck. Okay, I want to toss his head over there, but I want to maybe do it with my hips. I initiate movement. My hands are the last thing that comes. Okay, it all comes through. So there's many, many ways, many angles to catch this at. But the first principle is reach and pour, and then one-handed, two-handed from all different angles, and then you'll start getting it in the dynamic as they're attacking you, grabbing objects that they want from you. And so that's it for tonight. We can go on and on, but we'll cut it short there. Thanks.